Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kamilahani binti Kamsadun, metric number 1182070. In this video, I will be explaining about the cancelling approach for Lbs Bina Group Bhd. First of all, cancelling is an acronym where each letter of the word cancelling stands for crucial characteristics to look for in a firm. Cancelling was created by American William O'Neill and is designed to help investors make better investing decisions by discovering high-performing growth stocks. Cancelling also incorporates trading guidelines to help traders buy stocks before it goes up in value while reducing the loss. The purpose of cancelling, like practically any other stock trading method, is to help traders uncover stocks that have the potential to beat the market as a whole and other companies in the same industry. Fast-moving markets are the greatest place to use cancelling method. For Lbs Bina Group Bhd company's background, it started in the early 90s at Petaling Jaya. Lbs Bina has broadened the iconic Taman Perindustrian Bukit Serdang Seksyen 14, Taman Pinggiran Putra and Bandar Sarjana Putra. Lbs Bina simply develop house, residential, commercial, retail, leasing, welcome and even tourism. Lbs Bina continues to uphold Tan Sri Lim Hock San's vision that all Malaysians deserve a home of unmatched quality that not only inspires but also enriches their lives. Lbs Bina also aspires to be at the forefront of the construction technology advancement. The first criteria in cancelling is current earnings, also known as current quarterly earnings per share, referred to the profit of a publicly traded company per outstanding share of stock. Earnings per share is usually calculated using yearly or quarterly earnings. A company must have 18% to 20% rise in currently quarterly earnings per share over the same quarter the prior year to qualify for the cancelling technique. Based on the above graph, it shows that Lbs Bina managed to sustain the positive net profit in the first quarter of 2021 with an increment of 6.77 million ringgit from the previous fourth quarter of 2020. During December 2020, it can be seen that the net profit is decreasing from the third quarter of 2020 in September. Somehow, because of the better recovery to the economy, they managed to gain back their net profit. So from there, the quarter earnings are increasing almost 31% and traders or investors could consider whether to buy or sell this stock. The second criteria under the cancelling is annual earnings. According to the cancelling approach, traders should hunt for a high growth stock with improved yearly earnings over the previous 5 years. This indicates that the growth may be observed in the annual earnings growth over the prior 5 years. It is clearly shown from the above graph that Lbs Bina's net profit for the past 5 years are not increasing, since it keeps decreasing from 2017 with 103.4 million ringgit. So basically, in terms of annual growth for this company, it seems that they are not doing so well, and Lbs Bina should think a strategy on how to improve their profit for the upcoming period, since the criteria of cancelling for annual earnings must have a good development for the company in 5 years. So Lbs are not eligible for this criteria as it does not meet the requirement because of no growth. Instead, the net profit is declining every year. The third criteria in cancelling is new management, new project or news. Companies needed something new to create the type of growth demanded by cancelling criteria. There should be new things that can be impactful to the company's future and pushing the stock price, such as new goods, service, or newly appointed strong management team. Based on the article above, in order to gain more sales and maintaining the positive outcome for the upcoming year, Lbs Bina Group Bhd are trying to seek an investor so that They can work together to get a mutual agreement on the new project held by LBS company, which is located at Malacca. Since LBS already getting an agreement between Malacca government for the reclamation, the company able to maximize the opportunity to develop more property that could give an advantage to Malacca and its people. By doing that, it also could help the company to increase more of their current earnings. LBS also confident and optimistic that this project can be one step ahead for them in regaining a good cash flow for the company, also a good investor for company's project in the future. Fourth criteria under the CanSlim is supply demand, where the desire to buy a stock in relation to the number of stock shares available is referred to as supply and demand in the context of stocks. During price increase, the company should have large trading volume and a small float, which is a number of shares available to the public for trading, in comparison to other companies. For Lbs Bina Group Bhd, the total of shares outstanding is 1,561,660,557 units. We can see the demand for LBS are almost 50% approaching the amount of average volume. From here, we can conclude that LBS still has a demand since the average volume are quite high. But in terms of CanSlim criteria, LBS still need to plan a strategy to get more demand. Move on to the fifth criteria of CanSlim, which is L, that is stand for leader or laggard. This criteria determines whether the company is a leader or a laggard. A leader here means stocks that are very quick to respond to any catalyst related to a sector. A laggard, on the other hand, refers to stocks that are reluctant to react and often move after leader stocks have already completed their run. To determine whether the company is a leader or laggard, we can use relative strength index to measure the magnitude of recent price changes. Because the stock price movement for LBS is larger than the relative price index, which is lower with 11.16% for property index, 10.15% for finance index, and even lower with negative 0.01% for stock market index, which is FBM KLCI. The firm is a prospective leader. This index was chosen because Lbs Bina Group Bhd operates in the financial and real estate development sectors, and its stock is included in the Bursa Malaysia index price. Since LBS may be the market leader, shareholders may earn a bigger profit return and more than shareholders of other companies in the same sector. Sixth criteria is institutional investors, where according to O'Neill, a company must have a sufficient number of institutional investors as their shareholders. Mutual funds, insurance firms, bank, government bodies, and other institutional investors are examples of institutional investors. Institutional investor usually is a group of financial institutions that have a big capital of investment. It is matter for the company to have more institutional investors, as they can help in giving a positive impact for the company, as they has more and bigger fund that influence than other ordinary retail investor. Based on the above article pieces, we can conclude that Lbs Bina Group Bhd has a large float, implying that they have more retail investors than institutional investors, which account for 49.62% of the company. Employees Provident Fund Board, Kenanga Growth Fund, and Allianz Life Insurance Malaysia Berhad are among the institutional investors in the firm. Institutional investors have analytical experts who analyze the company in terms of financial performance, business, and direction of the company. This indirectly gives confidence to retail investors to also become shareholders in the company. As for LBS, since the adjusted float is bigger, it also means that the stock price is hardly to fluctuate. The last criteria of cancelling is market direction. Purchases of stock should only be made when the market is trending upwards to be able to schedule the stock buy correctly. Investor must first understand the broader market direction, uptrend, downtrend, or consolidation, which means sideways, the three directions in which the market moves. As seen in the figure above, the market trend for LBS has been considerably demonstrating a rise for 1 year, from June 2020 to June 2021. Particularly in September 2020 and April 2021. As the market rises at that period, the price falls a little, but not as much as it did previously. Overall, considering the newest stock price is still in a market correction, it appears that LBS still has the ability to climb in the short term. Meanwhile, the figure above depicts market development over a lengthy period of time, from 2003 to 2021. You can observe that the stock price is growing and that the market is in an uptrend. However, it appears that the market is in decline and is attempting to recover. Overall, the market direction for Lbs Bina Group Bhd is in the long run is a little bit uptrend, with the market potentially falling and rising in the future. To summarize the whole cancelling criteria for Lbs Bina Group Bhd, we can say that LBS is doing quite well, since its current earnings are up over the previous quarter, while for LBS, yearly growth is not doing so well, as it has been falling every year for the past 5 years. LBS is now attempting to form partnerships with both domestic and international investors, which might give more potential to the company in the future. Demand for LBS is quite high, and there is a chance to boost the remaining supply. LBS is currently a potential leader because the firm is outperforming the price index. LBS also has a large number of institutional investors backing them up. Lastly, LBS market direction has been able to improve as a result of an uptrend from the previous year to present. Overall, Lbs Bina Group Bhd has the potential to become the best and is sought after by investors looking for a solid trading opportunity.